Hi everyone, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Special thanks to all of my patrons. My name's Neil and it's time for the next episode of Lost. We're 4 episodes into the final season, season 6 guys. 4 down, 13 to go I guess? My god, we're almost there. But my point being, I've had 4 episodes to start digesting what's happening this season, and I feel like I'm a little better able to rationally decipher what's going on. And it doesn't hurt that a few of my patrons on my Patreon, thank you guys so much for giving me a few new nouns to hang on to that are going to be very important this season, I think. First of all, we're calling it The Flash Sideways, the new reality in 2004 where Flight 815 lands successfully in Los Angeles. That's The Flash Sideways. That's handy. And I've been saying it for episodes now. What do I call this new Locke guy? And some of you suggest Smokey, others suggest Flock, short for fake Locke. I like both of those, but it made me think of my own, and maybe I'm going to stick with my own because I'm crazy like that, but I might just call him Unlock, or maybe I'll stick with Flock. Who knows? We'll see. Let's talk about The Flash Sideways. I went on such a ramble in the postscript to last episode that I forgot that the island sank, that we saw Dharmaville underwater, that we saw a Dharma shark underwater in the first episode. But those things happened. So let's talk about what happened in The Flash Sideways. Let's talk about like the last 30 years of The Flash Sideways to understand if it makes sense, if it's possible. What I think we can sort of surmise is there is a reality where in 1977, Jack and the rest of our gang, thanks primarily to Juliet hitting the damn thing with a rock 8 times, set off the hydrogen bomb core. And in our Flash Sideways, that triggered a new timeline because I think that explosion sank the island. I can buy that, although I don't buy that the houses are all still intact and upright underwater 30 years later. First of all, they'd have been likely demolished in the blast. Second of all, islands just don't sink like they're being lowered on an elevator. But I get it. There's some creative license there. Fair enough. So Dharma was on the island until 77, at which point there was an accident. And yet, it couldn't have been an instantaneous accident because a bunch of people managed to get off the island. At the very least, Ben and Ethan, presumably therefore Ben's dad, at least one of Ethan's parents, and we would assume if they both got off the island and returned to civilization, then most of the Dharma Initiative got off the island. So maybe the bomb triggered a slow sinking of the island, which brings us back to Atlantis. But let's put that aside for the time being. Okay, so if the Dharma Initiative had to abandon the island in 1977 because it was sinking, that explains why we saw Ethan as a good-natured doctor in LA. It partially explains us seeing Ben as a history teacher, also in LA. Like, Ben still would have had to deal with Roger being an asshole dad. The island sinking doesn't change the fact that Roger blames Ben for Emily's death. Emily being Ben's mother. So, Ben's not necessarily a well-adjusted kid no matter where he grows up. But he's teaching in the LA school system, apparently. Presumably, if the Dharma Initiative had to abandon the island, the others did too, which would mean Widmore and Eloise return to the mainland, which changes the whole Dan and Desmond / Penny stories, which may explain why Desmond happens to be on Flight 815 this time. But Jacob couldn't have stayed on the island either. Jacob would have had to leave the island. And yet we made such a point at the end of last season showing Jacob visiting our core team, our core cast, visiting each one of them at an important moment in their life and really giving them some, in some cases, really steering their life in a certain direction or another. And would Jacob still have the connection to these people if the island didn't exist anymore, if the island had sunk? And would Jacob still be looking for candidates if the island had sunk? And would Jacob visit them? Probably not. Which means they're not necessarily going to end up in the same places. I'm thinking especially of like young Kate and young Sawyer and Locke after his fall. And now let's talk about Locke after his fall. I've already brought it up in a previous episode that it appears in this new timeline that Locke has a good relationship with his father. And yet, he's still in a wheelchair, and he still met Helen, both of which occurred directly because of the bad relationship with his father. So, that's a little bumpy. But I'll tell you what bumps me more than anything else about The Flash Sideways, and it's this. If the island sank in 77, it was not broadcasting numbers in 1988. That absolutely would be impossible. Which means Hurley would never hear the numbers from what's-his-name at the mental institution. Which means Hurley would never win the lottery. And yet Hurley has clearly won the lottery, and he considers himself the luckiest guy in the world. He's happy, well-adjusted, doesn't think that he's cursed with bad luck ever since he won the lottery, and yet he's wealthy, he's... The same stories happen to him, but without the numbers being a reality. So, there's too many inconsistencies for me in The Flash Sideways. And that means one of two things. A, the writers didn't pay close enough attention. Or B, and which I think is the more likely situation, it's not real. It's some wish fulfillment or something else that we should be cautious of. I don't know. It just does not feel real. There's too many things that don't make sense, and they can't all be explained just by the island not being there from 77 onwards. In fact, yeah, tell me if I'm wrong. I think this has popped up a couple of times recently on the show. I've asked questions. For instance, the whole Eloise and Dan storyline. How does Eloise know so much? Well, everyone responds in the comments, well, she's got Dan's notebook. Well, yeah, that's great, but she gave Dan that notebook when he graduated university with his PhD. So it'll contain his notes from there forward. But it was mostly scientific notes. It wasn't a personal journal so much. And how does Eloise know about the Desmond buying a ring for Penny and then throwing it in the Thames store, or not buying it story? Like, how does she know that's going to happen? And, Dan doesn't know that story. So, where does Eloise come up with all this knowledge? It's not explained simply by she has Dan's notebook. Things like that. There are a few answers I'm getting which are a little too pat right now. I'm willing to trust that the show knows what it's doing, but I also understand that in 6 years of writing, especially once you start incorporating time travel, there's just going to be plot holes, guys. This show wasn't written with 130 episodes up front. People were writing, we were writing as we were going, and plans had to be abandoned for all sorts of reasons, whether it was actors wanting off the show, or strikes, or all sorts of things. So you have to be a little forgiving of network television in that regard. But I'm really hoping that they make it work. I guess that's where my head's at. I'm trusting that they know what they're doing and that it will work. And that these inconsistencies that I'm looking at are not the fault of the writers, but that that an explanation is coming and it just hasn't come yet. Does that make sense? That's where my head's at these days. But I'm really excited to jump into this episode. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I will try and keep my postscript ramble on the shorter side today to compensate. But let's jump into episode 5, season 6. This one's called Lighthouse. So they're still waiting for the body, I guess? Did they have a funeral without the body? Appendix scar? Is that different? Jack was bleeding from the neck on the plane, too.
Have they found him yet?
When did I have my appendix taken out?
You were 7. Or 8, maybe. You collapsed at school. You don't remember that?
I guess I do.
Well, he's still got the same car. That's the Wrangler, right? Yeah, or the Land Cruiser.
Hey. Sorry I'm late.
Jackson.
Sorry,
Dad?
Okay, Dad.
Who's like that doesn't feel like a Sarah thing either. That feels like it's much like he's much too old to be Sarah's kid.
I was afraid you'd left.
Is leaving an option?
Everything is an option. But I will have to stop you. Your friends, they're not coming back, are they?
No, probably not.
You guys should know no one can win.
Again, dude. Shocker.
They really are bored.
Are you? I could eat.
Always. You seen Jacob?
What are you doing here? Someone is coming to the island. I need you to help them find it.
Okay. Who's coming? Who are we missing? Desmond? He's a pretty good match for young Jack. Like, I buy it.
You reading this?
Yeah.
Used to read this to you when you were little. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, David.
Why? We see each other like once a month. Can't we just get through it?
Okay. So it's a divorce and custody thing. But who's...
I have to go over to your grandmother's house. You want to come?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. All his fears about being a bad dad, being like his father, coming true.
Why are they all staring at me?
Just ignore them.
He came back from the dead.
What are you hiding from me?
They wanted me to kill you. Whatever it is they think happened to you, Saeed. They say it happened to someone else, too.
Claire.
Claire's the new Rousseau.
I'm gonna get you out of there. Come on, you think you can walk?
Yeah, you gotta patch that up a little bit before you just start walking on it. Okay. I like that Hugo's got these important tasks. He's Jacob's conduit. Boom.
What are you doing?
Indiana Jones stuff.
You shouldn't be here.
You can do what you want. I'm a candidate and I can do what I want.
I told you that.
Definitely need Japanese subtitles.
What do you say? You don't want to know. I told you to bring Jack with you. If you ever try and get Jack to do something, it's like impossible.
I'm not going anywhere, really.
I told him you'd say that, so he told me to tell you. You have what it takes.
Jacob, where is he?
Kind of dead. But if you want to talk to him, he's where we're going, dude.
Well, then let's go see Jacob.
Jack believes in Jacob. Ah. Yeah. She's absolutely the new Rousseau. Oh, man. Brutal. She's even got the box of TNT. Did she get... That doesn't make sense. Oh. She's gone crazy. Oh, he's not dead.
So, look what I found. One of the men who tried to kill you. Now we get to talk to him.
You want to talk to me about what?
About where you're hiding, my son. We're gonna get that cleaned up. There's one thing that'll kill you around here, it's infection.
If we don't get out of here now, she's gonna kill us both.
Of course Claire's the new Rousseau. Pregnant woman comes to the island, loses her baby, but she's claimed. That's the difference.
Whoa! Hey!
I'm gonna find Claire.
The people at the temple said that something happened to her.
Do they know where she is?
It's okay, just go. It's all right. I hope you find what you're looking for.
You want a drink?
For a bottle of whiskey that's like ridiculously expensive, the McCutcheon 60, it sure shows up a lot.
How's David holding up?
Communication is not one of his strong suits.
Well, it runs in the family.
That's because I was terrified of him, Mom.
How do you know David isn't terrified of you? Did your father ever mention a Claire Littleton?
2004, Jack learns about her for the first time.
Loosen my ropes. And when she comes back in, I'll snap her neck.
Terrible plan. Terrible plan.
What are you gonna do with him?
He's gonna tell me where they've got my baby.
We don't have your kid.
You're lying, okay? I know
Crazy.
you have
We
him.
never took you.
Shut up.
So Erin in this timeline is with her mother.
Okay, well, first my father told me, and then my friend told me, so I'm pretty damn sure.
Your friend.
You're still my friend, aren't you, Jin?
Is the smoke monster her friend?
Yes, of course.
So the smoke monster's telling her that
Okay.
the others have her baby,
So.
but
Now it's your turn.
of course Erin's with Claire's mom in this timeline.
Whatever happened to you guys? I thought you guys were gonna get married and have like a dozen kids.
Guess I wasn't cut out for it.
Really? I think you make a great dad. What is that?
Who's got an inhaler?
Asthma inhaler.
Dude, it's Shannon's.
Oh, of course. We're going all the way back to season 1. We're gonna get an answer for Adam and Eve?
What if we time traveled again? What if these skeletons are us?
Ever tell you how I found this place? I was chasing the ghost of my dead father. That was his coffin. Hey, dinner's...
Where'd he go? Is he just doing stupid teenager stuff, or is there more to it?
If I did something to upset you, whatever I did, I'm sorry.
Who's mom?
David?
The light's on. Kid's a music nut.
confirm your slot next Friday the 24th at 7 p.m.
I just needed to hear your voice. I guess I'll try again later. I love you.
Fathers and sons. In a show full of so many bad dads, you kind of get why Jack's so concerned about not being one.
You and me, trekking through the jungle, on our way to do something that we don't quite understand. Good times.
It's like season 1.
Why'd you come back?
I came back here because I was broken. And I was stupid enough to think this place could fix me.
Dude, I'm sorry.
How much further we got, Hurley?
It's right there.
That's new. How have we never seen that before? It's an actual lighthouse.
How is it that we've never seen it before?
Yeah.
I guess we weren't looking for it.
We don't have your kid. We never had your kid.
Stop lying to me! Jin, they stuck me with needles. They branded me.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't been able to escape from the temple, they would have killed me.
No, you're not remembering
Shut
things
up,
right.
okay?
I don't know where your damn kid is.
Kate took him! Kate took Aaron.
And I promise I will never tell anyone I ever even saw you.
Don't trust him, I don't think. Claire's a mess. Yeah, Claire's a mess. Jin, are you still my friend? Oh.
Jacob's in here. I guess so. First, we gotta go upstairs and turn this thing on. After you.
Remember Jack playing the piano when he was living in Dharmaville for that week?
He's really good.
No, it's him.
They are too young to have this kind of pressure, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Your son has a gift. How long has he been playing?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
Whoa.
Alright,
Dude,
it's a lighthouse.
Let's get started.
108 degrees. That's like the only legible thing on there.
Tell me when it gets to 108 degrees.
Are those a bunch of names crossed out on the wheel on the side there? On the far... Yeah, they are. All the candidates. This is all very Indiana Jones in the map room.
Do you see that? It's just ocean.
No, you saw like a church tower or something. Quan is still in there.
These are our names.
Yeah, Jarrah 16, Shepard. What's Kate's number? Where's Austin?
23 degrees.
So is Jacob 108? Is that where he saw the...
What? What is that?
Is that his house?
It's my house. The whole time, all of us, he's been watching us. Where's Jacob?
You said that he would be here. He just kind of shows up whenever he feels like it.
Jack needs answers. He's gonna start smashing mirrors? Don't do that, man.
Why was he watching?
I don't know.
Why is my name written down on this thing?
He didn't tell me.
What does he want from me?
Are we supposed
You're a
to
candidate.
I don't know, Jack!
Jack. Destruction of scientific equipment like that. That's not cool, man. Not cool at all, man. And you're supposed to be a man of science.
You were great in there.
I missed a couple of notes.
Sounded perfect from where I was standing. I didn't even know you were still playing.
I made Mom promise not to tell you. You were so into it. I didn't want you to see me fail.
My father didn't want to see me fail either. He said that I didn't have what it takes. Spent my whole life carrying that around with me. I just want to be a part of your life.
So if they set it to 108, what would they have seen? I'm assuming that's Jacob's number, but maybe it's not. Hurley, you're wiping off the instructions.
You got ink on your forehead. That's all you have to say? Jack broke your lighthouse, dude. Mission unaccomplished. Everything you wanted me to do didn't get done.
But it's fine.
You don't even care.
Did you want Jack to see what was in that mirror?
It was the only way for him to understand how important he is.
Well, next time, how about you tell me everything up front? I'm not big on secret plans, okay?
I had to get you and Jack as far away from that temple as I possibly could.
What? Why?
So,
I'm sorry, it's too late.
everyone other than Saeed isn't at the temple right now.
Why'd you say that Kate was raising Aaron?
I was lying. But you were right. The others have your baby. But you'll need me to get to him.
Thank you, Jen. If what you said was the truth, if Kate was raising Aaron, I'd kill her.
Am I interrupting?
John?
That's not John.
It's
This
my friend.
is my friend.
Claire's crazy. Claire's completely lost it. Yep. Claire's bonkers. And it would appear that she is claimed. So at least we can sort of put a tick in that box. And that feels confirmed at this point. Although every time I say, oh, that's confirmed, I'm like proven wrong 2 or 3 episodes later. So who knows? But yeah, Claire's a little loopy. And yeah, doesn't trust the others. She's had Christian and her friend telling her lies for the last 3 years. Because we can sort of accept that that's what the blacks, the black smoke monster, smoky flock, unlock is. He's this dark spirit that needs to be contained on the island, and that's been Jacob's job, and he's been looking for candidates. Now, this mirror system, again, you know, like all these candidates, the vast majority of them are crossed out. We can cross Locke off that list now too, number 4. So we're down to 5. We're down to, well, maybe we have to cross Saeed off the list too if he's been claimed. So we're down to Hurley and Jack and Kate and Sawyer. Oh, we're down to 5. Well, no, because Kate doesn't have a number, so we're down to Hurley and Jack and Sawyer and Quan, which is Sun and or Jin. Who's your money on to be the next, the winning candidate, the next protector of the island, the next Jacob? Jack's name is awfully close to Jacob, and names matter on this show. There's a lot of that. James isn't far off from Jacob either. Or, like, who knows? Jin Quan isn't terribly off either. So how is Jin going to dig himself out of this situation with Claire? Because he can barely walk. And now not only is he with crazy Claire, he's also got Locke there. But is everyone else coming to join? Or is Locke off on like one of his little private missions? Last we saw, he was with Sawyer in the cave. So is Sawyer about to show up there too? I'm gonna get some Sawyer and Jin again. I love how calm Hurley has become with seeing dead people. You know, it's just so matter of fact to him now. Yeah, Jacob pops up and Hurley starts writing notes on his forearm. And I love that everyone else just kind of takes it at fact that this is what Hurley does now. So now Jack has to sort of wrap his head around does he have some importance on the island that he still hasn't yet developed the faith for? You know, early on when we were here on the island, we, you know, John felt special. You know, obviously he could walk again for the first time in 4 years, but it feels like a lot of John's importance, it turns out, to the others at least, was precipitated on John telling Richard back in the 50s during Jughead that he was important. And, you know, sort of one of those bootstrap paradoxes almost, you know. And Ben, who we always thought was the dude in charge and had his finger on the pulse, he's been proven to be basically a great pretender. He's never seen Jacob. He's never had that. He's never been invited to have that spiritual connection to the island that he sorely wanted for himself. Like, no one wanted to be the next Jacob more than Ben, I would say. And Locke, yeah, well, Locke's dead now. Locke's dead now, and whew, and Saeed's basically dead. In the same way Claire is dead. So I don't know what claimed means practically, but it certainly feels like they are infected, and if this is what Saeed has to look forward to, at least it's a relatively slow process, but yeah. I want to guess, I want to figure it out, and I don't think I have enough to go on. I just want to watch another episode, so I'm going to do that. Thank you guys so much for spending a little time with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/NeilTalks. It's absolutely the best way to support the channel. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.